Hello, Auburn people, Auburn family. Or you just love Auburn, and even if you're an alumni of Auburn and just want to be a part of Auburn, we welcome you. And today we have such a special show. I'm your host, Jason Campbell, former quarterback here at Auburn, working with the On to Victory Collective here. Hey, but I got a great co-host today, Zac Blackerby, who is the Blocked on Auburn guy. So everyone should know this guy. Sure, all the players do. He does such a phenomenal job of covering all sports here at Auburn. And if you want to have updated versions and everything, Zac, I'll let you tell a little bit about yourself before we bring on our special guest.
Yeah, Jason, pleasure to be here, man. Locked on Auburn's about 25 to 30-minute show every day devoted strictly to Auburn sports, like you said. So excited to talk to our great guest that we have today and spend a little time with you, man.
Hey, I'm welcome. Hey, welcome, my brother. Welcome. Hey, we have a special one today. She's a graduate transfer. In high school, I was reading up on her, man. She was a blue chip, top 25 player in the nation. So she has a lot of accolades, and she comes with, so much she can bring to this program with experience and everything, especially in the women's tennis program, who I think is just going through the roof right now. And they have some special events coming up soon, so we'll jump into that with her as well. So let's not wait any longer. Let's bring in our special guest, Ali DeSpain.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me.
How you doing, Ali?
It's an honor. I'm good. How are you guys doing this morning?
Hey, we're doing pretty good. Doing good. It's sunny outside and it's not raining, so guys can get out and play a little golf. And got a chance to participate in the Legends tournament yesterday, so that was awesome. So, Ali, talk to us a little bit about being a graduate transfer. Coming over from Clemson and coming to Auburn. What's your experience been like so far?
So as I was saying, hopefully, I don't know if you guys heard me because of the crazy Wi-Fi issues, but it's been a whirlwind. I graduated in December and started right up in January and never looked back. And, as a student athlete, you're used to that, lifestyle of, the fast pace. And that's just how it's been, practice, matches every day, every weekend. And I love it. Everyone here has been so incredibly nice and so welcoming. And it's made it so easy to jump right in. So I've loved it here so far.
Ali, what's the transition been like? I mean, you had a great career at Clemson. Then, like we said, you entered the portal, and now instead of being a Clemson Tiger, you're an Auburn Tiger. What's that transition been like?
Yeah, so change is never easy for anyone. But as I touched on a little bit, just leaning on my teammates and my coaches and the incredible support staff here at Auburn, it really hasn't felt like that big of a change just because, it's felt comfortable because everyone has, chipped in and played a part in making me feel at home here. So while it is a huge change, it hasn't felt that way, to be quite honest, which has been awesome.
Yeah, I had the experience to be on Clemson campus back when Auburn played in Clemson football a couple of years back, and there's a lot of similarities when you talk about Clemson and Auburn and everything. But Ali, talk about when did you start playing tennis? Like growing up, when did you first start putting a tennis club in your hand and start just working at it?
So I really started playing tennis when I was around 10 years old, and actually it's a funny story how I got kind of started into it. My cousin played collegiate tennis at William and Mary, but I really didn't see that much of him. He's from up north, didn't have that much connection with tennis, but back home I lived in a more resort area. I'm from Georgetown, South Carolina, near the beach and the water.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was just, tennis camps were huge. It was a way for during the summer for parents to be to drop off their kids and not worry about it. So essentially that's how it started. It was my daycare, so my parents could get rid of my brother, sister, and I running, screaming around, causing a mess. So that's how it started. I just kind of got thrown into summer tennis camps and loved it. My coaches, told my parents hey, your daughter is enjoying it. She's picking it up pretty quickly, and I just kind of kept going, and here we are.
Awesome.
Ali, you won multiple state championships in South Carolina in your time there. When was the moment when you realized, like, oh, I'm like better than a lot of people at this?
I would say probably in high school, my freshman year, I, realized like, hey, like I'm, playing these huge tournaments and there's college coaches walking around. Like this is a pretty big deal. So I think that's kind of when I saw that, light at the end of the tunnel. I was like, I'm, potentially gonna play collegiate tennis at a high level, and I don't know, it's just super cool. I just remember being at those big tournaments in high school, and I was like, wow, I'm really here. All these people. So I think that was kind of when I realized that I was a pretty decent tennis player at that point.
Yeah, everyone always has that surreal moment. You feel like, hey, I can do this. For me, it was going to camps over the summertime. I was from Mississippi, so I could go to other states and play in these camps, and that's kind of where I feel like, okay, I can, compete at a high level with a lot of these kids across the nation. So, yeah, I definitely understand that. But Ali, growing up, we always have like this person we watch in our sport, right? Like for me, it was quarterbacks, certain quarterbacks that I watched growing up. For you, like who's that tennis player that you kind of just like and you just like their game and that you just look at as a person that you like, hey, if I could play tennis, I want to be like this person?
Yes. Obviously this is on the male side, but I've always just looked up to Roger Federer. Yeah. Not only because he's an incredible tennis player and he's so smooth out there and so talented, but more than that, more than athletics is the type of person you are and the character that you have. And I've just always admired Roger Federer for how much he goes out of his way for not only his fans, but for people around the world. He started, multiple charities, is always doing community service, always giving back to his community. And I think that's why I've had such a strong connection with him, because I really respect him, not only as a tennis player, but as a person, and the fact that he uses his platform to give back, I think is really special. So that's awesome. That's who I've always looked up to, is Roger Federer.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Ali, you and the rest of your team are getting ready to head down to the NCAA tournament in Coral Gables for regional action. What's kind of the mindset that you're taking down there, as well as the rest of the squad?
Yeah, so my team, we always have this joke, it's a business trip. So that's the way we're looking at it. It's a business trip, and we got our Under Armour swag boxes yesterday, and luckily we got some sunglasses in there, so I think we'll be using those in Miami. But we're super excited, and it's every match is created equal, so it's another business trip, another opportunity, and we're ready to go get after it.
Awesome. Well, I know the weather's going to be really good in Florida, so you definitely enjoy yourself. But as y'all prepare to go do this, talk about your teammates for a second. Let everyone know about your team, like all the Auburn family that's out there that's listening to this podcast. A lot of people, they see you playing, but there's always something special about every team. And what's so special about you ladies being together?
Yeah, I think what's so special about our team is that we all have the same mindset and the same values. So it makes it so easy to have a bond, because we're all going after the same dream. We all, work incredibly hard every day. Not a single day goes by where, one person isn't, everyone gives 100% every day and works so incredibly hard. And I think that's just what makes it special, is that it's just easy, because we're different, but we share like a lot of similarities when it comes to values and mindsets and goals. So that's what's really special about this team, is that we're all 100% committed, and every day we bring it. So
that's awesome.
Is that something you guys discuss, maybe throughout the off season and then obviously through the season, or is that just the kind of type of athlete that this program's attracting right now?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think, to play for this program, that's what's demanded. But also we hold each other to an incredibly high standard, and it's not in a bad way, but we all like hold each other accountable. If someone's not, doing what they need to do, it's not from a place of like, oh, like disappointment and anger. It's like, hey, like, let's pick up the level. Like, we can do this. So I think it is a little bit of both. And, it's really special as well because we have that leadership on our team, and it doesn't matter, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, every single person holds each other accountable to an incredibly high standard, as well as our coaches. So it works really well for us.
Yeah, that accountability and discipline is always a key to success, and you're doing a great job. Your leadership is well recommended, and, all your teammates talk highly about you. Your coach talks highly about you. Now we're going to transition a little bit because I know your time is limited. We want to be very valuable at that. So, Ali, can you tell us a little bit about, how NIL helps and how NIL has kind of changed the platform in college sports?
Yeah, so I'm not very TikTok savvy, but I was watching a TikTok the other day about this lady who former collegiate athlete and is now a mom, and she's like, being a mom is so much easier than being a student athlete. I get to wake up at 5 a.m. and not lift, but go, cuddle with my baby. And, people just don't realize how demanding it is. It is a job. It's a full-time job, and we love it. But, NIL just really plays a huge role in that, because now student athletes are being treated like it is the job that it is. We're able to reap the benefits of all the hard work and the time and the effort that we put in. And I think it's just it's an incredible thing and an incredible opportunity for student athletes to take advantage of and grow their brand. And, I think it's all new, but I think there's a lot of great benefits from NIL.
Oh, yeah, that's, like I said, it is. And the people need to hear those great stories of how it helps out, because a lot of people just think, oh, athletes just want money. No, a lot of kids are in certain situations and that it actually helps them. And that's, like you said, it is a job because you have to go to class, then you have to find time to go out and practice and perform at a high level, the pressure of winning and everything. So many things you have to carry on your back when you're a student athlete. That a lot of people don't realize, but now you're having an opportunity to be rewarded for a lot of your hard work. So, Ali, before we let you out of here, and I see if Zach got one more thing for you afterwards, but we always do this rapid fire 5 questions where we try to let people know our athletes, like get to know them. So it's just really quick questions. You can give a really quick answer, and then once you're done, we'll check in with Zach, and then we'll let you get back to listen to some nice music. When we was talking to you earlier, though, we was missing that, Zach.
I think we interrupted a jam session, Jason.
Yeah, we interrupted a jam session. I don't know where she was at, but it was jamming. I know that.
Tropical smoothie.
Gotcha. Nice. All right, Ali, let's get started. So, what is your favorite food to eat tonight before a big competition?
Steak.
Ooh, steak. Nice. Okay.
How's it cooked, Ali? How do you get it cooked?
Medium rare.
Oh, steak sauce or no steak sauce?
No steak sauce.
Okay, there you go.
That sounds like a solid steak, Ali.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you do to calm your butterflies before competition?
Listen to music. I love to listen to Christian music to kind of just relax me and give me perspective, and remind me that I can't do this on my own.
All right.
Love that.
Awesome. Love it. So approximately how many hours do you practice a day?
It varies on the day, but anywhere from 3 to 4 hours.
Nice. Where is your favorite place to eat at in Auburn?
Ooh. I love McAllister's and I love Panera.
McAllister, Panera. So she likes sandwiches.
Yeah.
I hear she likes sandwiches. So nice. So last one. People want to know, what are you studying in Auburn as a graduate, and what do you plan to do once your tennis days are over?
Yes. So right now, my master's program is administration. So it's a lot of people in leadership roles and higher education. And I would love to be a sideline reporter and get into the broadcasting world.
Nice, nice, nice. Hey, we need to talk because I used to do it in New York for CBS, and then I did it in Washington for NBC. And now I'll be calling the games on Saturdays for Auburn football. So, I know a little bit about the transition and the process. So just let JJ know and, try to help introduce you to some people just to kind of, get you started in the right direction.
That would be awesome. It sounds like you just have a wee bit of knowledge on the subject. Who knows?
just a little bit. Yeah, I've been around for a little while, but like I said, it's all about personality. It's all about being yourself, having fun, and just the knowledge of the game. Because, like I said, no one knows it more than someone that's actually participated. And like I said, what you're doing in women's tennis, all the knowledge you soaked up throughout the years, but also, from the education aspect as well. So you put the two together and it just makes you a bright star. So, we look forward to, seeing what you continue to do in your future. We're following you. Like I said, Ali, you continue to be the great person that you are. And I love how you mentioned that you listen to Christian music to help calm you down and everything. And so, I can tell right now that you're a great, great inspiration, a great person. So we're lucky to have you here at Auburn. Zac, anything you like to say?
Nope. Ali, best of luck to you and your team as you guys head down to Florida.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor. It was really fun this morning.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And tell your teammates, y'all wish y'all the best this week.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So, Zac, that was a great segment with a young lady, just talking about all the things how she transitioned from Clemson to Auburn, how I run it, two Tigers, and
I know it. I know it. She must really like tigers or big cats with stripes or something like that. Yeah.
And almost similar colors. You just take the purple out, mix it with some blue. But,
That's right. That's right. She lost a lake in the process, evidently, but yeah, no, it seems like it's a great fit here. And I can tell just by, the little bit talking to her this morning, Jason, I'm sure you'll agree, like personality wise, like I see why she fits in and is enjoying her time at Auburn.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like I said, you can tell from her leadership. She talked about accountability. You know, she talked about, them working together as a team and not being afraid to say something to one another because they're trying to reach a certain goal. And that's what we have to get back to, even in our football program, is that leadership. Guys being able to step into those roles, but understanding like those roles carry weight. You have to be not just a person that just talk, but a person about the action. People need to see it. Your teammates need to see the work that you put in. And I can tell that she's definitely doing that. And like I said, she's been doing it for so long, even when she's in high school, being a blue chip recruit and, being highly touted, even at Clemson. And, those things doesn't come easy. She works at it. So, definitely, I think they're going to go down to Florida and have a good showing. And, Auburn's got a lot of good things going on right now. Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah. Golf, golf is hosting the regionals. People didn't know that golf is hosting the regionals this month. So if you want to get down to Auburn and support the golf team as well, you have that going on. Like I said, basketball is out right now and recruiting, getting a lot of guys in the transfer portal. Football is getting a lot of guys in the transfer portal. So there's a lot of things on the up and up. Our equestrian team, just finished second nationally.
Played for Natty, right?
Yeah, but they've won 6 national championships.
Yeah. So, baseball just went 2 out of 3 on the road against the number 3 team in all of college baseball. Yeah, I mean,
going to beat South Carolina, like a huge deal. So, and they got an LSU coming up this weekend, which is going to be a big deal. So, baseball is all about getting hot at the right time. Last year, Ole Miss got hot and went all the way through. And everything. So you just never know. I know our pitching hasn't been what it's been in the past because we lost 5 guys last year and went to the draft. But it's all about getting hot and believing in hitting. Confidence when you step up to that plate. So this team could catch fire.
Yeah, and you're starting to see some national analysts say, "Hey, watch out for Auburn." And if they can get Joseph Gonzalez back on the mound in the next few weeks before it really all starts to heat up and matter, Auburn could be a scary team. There's no doubt about it.
Well, it'll be a team in the SEC that they wouldn't want to, other teams wouldn't want to play.
No question.
You know, because of what they just did to South Carolina, and they
Right.
actually, you know, played Mississippi State pretty good, but that's another powerhouse baseball team. So, you know, leave it up to Butch. We'll always be in the fight. So, you know, it's one thing
He
I
knows
know
what he's
about
doing.
him.
Yeah.
You know what he's doing. So, next, our guest, people, you may not know him. Name is JJ. Works for the collective here at Auburn. You know, outstanding guy. You know, puts in a lot of work with these young people, trying to, you know, keep up with them and make sure they're doing their requirements, make sure they're where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there, to make sure that we're meeting all the standards that Auburn has to meet in order to make everything flow the way that it does with our student athletes. So he's the man behind the mic sometimes. And, you know, we're going to get him on here pretty soon. He used to have long hair, and he used to have this long beard. And then last time I saw him, he was baby face. And, you know, I don't know what we're going to see today. You know, Zach, I don't know. How well do you know JJ? What we're going to see today?
I don't know if I've ever actually seen JJ. We've talked on the phone a handful of times and we text a good bit, but I actually don't know if I've ever seen him face to face now that you mention it.
See, I told you he's always the masked man behind the magic. You
That's
know,
right.
no one ever sees this guy.
That's
you know,
right.
I see
That's
him
right.
yeah.
But he's responsible for getting everything done, which is
Right.
super
He's
important.
responsible for making sure the kids are where they're supposed to be and when they're supposed to be there.
Mhm.
And we're going to bring him on. He's also part of the lacrosse program. So we'll let him talk a little bit about lacrosse and how did he get into lacrosse. So we're not going to wait any longer. We're going to bring the man behind the magic, JJ. JJ, what's happening, brother?
What's up, guys? How are we?
Hey, man, how does it feel to actually be in a seat now as an athlete, even though you're a former athlete, and now you're getting interviewed by, you know, my man Zach and myself, and, you know, you're a star, man. You're the mask behind a lot of things that goes on with the NIL program that a lot of people don't know. Can you just let the people know what it is that you do?
Well, I heard Zach say he's never seen my face before. Probably a lot of our athletes feel that same way because I'm constantly just texting them, calling them, letting them know where they need to be, when they need to be there. But it's been a great experience. It's every day's different. Every day is a new challenge. I likened it recently to basically it's like being part of a startup company. You know, it's nobody really knows what the next day is going to bring. And so you're always on your toes trying to figure out the good next steps. And you're always trying to be a pioneer in this. And it's kind of an arms race as we go against other schools.
JJ, as far as, you know, I mean, this NIL space, it's big, it's huge, but like you said, you know, kind of comparing it to a startup, it's new and it's ever changing. And it seems like every time the NCAA kind of meets, there's new things coming out that you guys have to adapt to. What's that kind of like, just as far as like rolling with the punches and trying to figure out exactly what this space is going to look like once things settle down?
That's it, man. You got to roll with the punches. You got to be cool. It's you could be working on a project and working on something, you know, for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden NCAA guidelines come in and change it all up, and you know, you pretty much wasted a couple of weeks worth of work. But you know, like I said, it's been exciting. It's been fulfilling. You know, I have a background in sports and coaching, and so being able to work with student athletes has kind of been my passion the whole time. And so getting to work with all varieties of student athletes has been really cool.
Yeah, JJ, NIL has changed the college platform. You know, it's really like taking it by storm, and you know, most for good, and then some. You know, depending on if you're dealing with agents or different things, can sometimes become a little cloudy. But talk about just the experience of, you know, being in your position. You know, we have over 20-some sports on campus, and you have to monitor a lot of student athletes, and everyone knows every kid is different. You know, some kids you have to call 3 times, some kids you can call 1 time, some kids you text 1 time, some got text 10 times. But just talk about what you've seen from NIL, how it's helped some of the student athletes.
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit of what I do and what my responsibilities are, and then jump into that. So, you know, basically when we contract any of these athletes, they've got a list of things that they need to fulfill. And then based on whether or not they complete those is how we can pay them. Because again, pay for play is not legal right now.
Right.
So, I think that's a misunderstood part of this is everybody thinks we're just paying the athletes for being athletes, but really everything that we pay them for has to revolve around their name, their image, their likeness. So it's autographs, it's personal appearances, it's podcasts, it's media interviews. So everything that they do is around that. And so really, if they don't complete something that they are contracted to do, we can't legally pay them. We have to make sure that if the NCAA comes calling and wants to check up on us, that we've crossed our T's and dotted our I's, and everything that they've done, that we've paid them for, and we have evidence of it. So that's part of my job too, is collecting evidence. Whether they do a social media post, we have to have a screenshot of it and we file it away. If they're at a personal appearance, we're getting a picture of them there. If they're doing a media interview, we're getting a copy of the episode. And it's a lot. You have to definitely be organized, and I have a little bit of OCD attached to me. Anybody that knows that, so it was kind of a perfect fit for me in regards to, again, just having a background and being able to talk and relate to athletes, but also being super organized. And so it's been fun.
How many athletes are you dealing with on a regular basis?
Shoot, it changes pretty routinely, but we've been up to like 150 athletes at one time. So I'm tracking all of it and making sure that by the time their contract ends, that they've done everything that they need to do. Now I do have some help. We've got some little gophers around in the background. We've had some interns come in, and so they help me a lot, and been very thankful for them.
Yeah, like I say, you have to do this as a team. There's no way in the world you can monitor all these athletes without a whole team. Like I have my responsibilities within the NIL, with talking with players and make sure they do what they're supposed to do, but also talking with parents and agents and then getting out and trying to help, tell people about the collective and about how to get involved with NIL and, what it stands for, what it means, and pretty much tell it from a side of an athlete, to people that kind of don't understand what's happening. But like JJ was saying, it's not pay for play. But like I tell all the guys and ladies is, hey, if you perform well, that helps your name, image, and likeness grow. Because you're in a position where you're playing on TV. You're in a position where people are listening to the radio and they're hearing your name being called for making certain plays in the games and different things. I said that helps your name, image, and likeness. I said, so, you do need to work extremely hard to put yourself in the best position. You talk about, the two ladies that in the NCAA tournament, Caitlin from Iowa and then Angel from LSU, like both of their NIL numbers have gone through the roof since the national championship game. Why did that happen? Because the platform that they was on and how they perform. And, they perform at such a high level and everything. They competed in a national championship game, which so many people watched. It brought a lot of attention to their name, image, and likeness, which has now made a lot of, and it's not just what a lot of people get mistaken, JJ and Zach, is they think the collective is the only way they make money.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. You can make money through the collective, but the collective has a budget. The money that comes into the collective, we have to be good stewards of it, of where it goes and how it's managed, because it's not free falling money. It's not the NFL where there's TV contracts and stuff that you're receiving so much money to go into this budget. No, these are hardworking Auburn people that just love Auburn, and they don't get a tax write-off for this. So when they give, they're just giving because they love Auburn. And on top of that is, as an athlete, you can go outside and get other deals. You can go out and get other companies to give deals. When Bo Nix was here, he had a Milo's deal. It's just like a lot of these, when everyone talks about, oh, Bryce Young was making $1 million some dollars at Alabama. No, Alabama wasn't paying their collective wasn't paying him $1 million.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper was paying him $1 million. So that's where people have to understand, and even parents have to understand. Your collectives don't have, to be paying a kid $1 million. That are big time companies, big time platforms that they go get a professional athlete that they bring in and pay that professional athlete to go out and endorse their company. But now they see how big college football is, college basketball. even the women's game has taken off to new levels. So now they're going out and they say, hey, you know what? I don't always have to go over here and deal with the ego sometime of a professional athlete. I can go over here and grab one of these college kids and get them to endorse what we're trying to do. And we'll pay them NIL money for them to show up and do something for it. But at the same time, that's where most of the big deals come from, is outside of the collectives. And the more that people continue to understand that I think it takes a lot of pressure off collectives at every university.
And to your point, Jason, in a town like Auburn where there is no professional team, right? Local businesses see the college athletes as the professional guys, right?
Right.
You know, we helped Proctor deal with Baumhauer's to sign the entire offensive line, and so now they'll go in there and eat for free, once a week, and in return they have to post a social media post about it, right? So now, they're getting a reward for a service surrounded by their name, image, and likeness. So as long as they're making those posts, all that is in good standing with the NCAA. Yep. So my job is to make sure that they're actually posting about it.
JJ, you mentioned earlier some players you've got to text, a few times to get it. How many times do you think you would have had to text Jason if NIL was around when he was here?
Jason over the last couple months, I'd like to see 2002, 2003 Jason. what level of commitment, maturity he had. But I tell you what, right now, the way he talks to these guys, especially the football guys, if somebody's non-responsive, especially on the football side, I'll just shoot Jason a text and be like, hey, I need your help with this one. And usually I get a call back pretty soon. And, yes, some of them I do need to text a couple times, but let's be honest. As soon as I throw in there, hey, man, if you don't show up to this thing, I can't pay you, they're calling back pretty quick.
If they always say, if you want to get someone's attention, start affecting their pocketbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing about it, too, is what a lot of people don't understand, Zach, is we're also trying to educate these kids about finances. We're not just trying to just pay them money and then all of a sudden you throw an 18 to 22-year-old kid some money and just say, hey, here you go, go out and do what you do.
Sure.
But we try to educate them. We try to put a platform in front of them like they can have their taxes withheld out of each check by our collective, so that way at the end of the year, they don't have to worry about their taxes getting paid. They don't have to worry about, did I save up my money enough to go back and pay my taxes? So we withhold taxes if they allow us. You can't do it by law. They have to sign off on it, either them or their parents. And, 98% of our kids participate in that. Sometimes you have a kid or two that doesn't, but then here you come with that story again at the end of the year. Like, hey, I told you at the beginning of the year, JJ has told you, Brett has told you to allow us to withhold your taxes. I said, guys, there's no running from taxes. Either you're going to pay them in the front end or you're going to pay them in the back end. But if you're going to pay them in the back end, you better be disciplined enough to put that money up. And while you're still trying to learn how to deal with money, you should allow it to come out in the front end. So you take that pressure off yourself. The other aspect of it is last week, we just had a class for the kids where we had a financial advisor come on. Ronnie played at Auburn, played in the NFL, has gone on to get his degree, and now he's a financial advisor. So he's just telling the kids what it's like to be in the shoes of an athlete, but then also how to be weary and leery about people that's coming at you. Is people trying to come at you to get something from you, or are they trying to be there to help you? There's a difference.
Yeah.
And then we also had Ned, who does our JJ, who does our
he's one of our board members. He's a retired CPA.
Right.
His son has followed in his footsteps. So we're on there and talked about taxes. And here's the thing. This was part of their contract. All the student athletes, they had to attend this. So here you are again, it's not just about giving these kids money. We're trying to educate them. And so we put the development seminar in their contract, and the entire football team that is signed with us had to be in attendance. And so that was part of their stuff. And so I think it was very informative. I actually learned a bunch, from my side, but it's, we can only lead the horses to water, right? We can't make them drink. And so as long as we do that in good faith, I think we're doing our job.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, that's the thing about the whole NIL experience is it is an experience. It's not just you just getting paid because, like I tell these kids, you have pretty much 4 years to get NIL at Auburn. And then after these 4 years, some of you will have an opportunity to go and play in the National Football League, or some of you have to go ahead and go to pro golf or pro tennis, whatever your sport is. But most and majority of you are not going to have that opportunity. And we need to prepare you as you get ready to go into the real world, where you start to understand about taxes, you start to understand how finances flow. And like I've told some of the players on the football team, unfortunately, that this may be the most that some of you make until about 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And that's just being reality, because when you start a normal job, sometimes you got to work your way up before you can reach certain levels. And unfortunately, a lot of these kids have been patted on the back, told how great they are, how, they're the best thing since sliced bread and all those different things. But then when they get done and reality sets in and no one's calling them all the time, no one's saying, hey, man, great game on Saturday, or great game Tuesday night, I like the dunk or the jump shot that you hit to win the game. Like, no one's saying that, and no one's knocking at your door trying to offer you deals anymore. Now you're in the real world. You have to go out and apply yourself. That's why education comes in. And that's why we encourage these kids to graduate, to get your degree, because now that's where that feeds into it, where now you got to get the job. You already got your degree. You don't have to go back to school to finish it. You have it. And then you can understand how to move forward at that standpoint. But you have a chance right now to save your money as much as you can. So when you leave college, you have a nest egg that you can go and pull from if you ever become into a need situation where you're trying to grow in your workplace. So that's been a lot of things that we've been trying to hone in. I've been trying to hone this in on these kids as much as possible. But like JJ said, some of them hear it, some of them don't. Some of them still want to go buy an expensive car. Some of them still want to go, and put it somewhere where it shouldn't be. And then you have to understand that, hey, 5 years from now, you're going to come back and say, dang, man, I should have listened.
Mhm.
We're hope that number is very limited,
Yeah.
more so than not, and everything. So, it's definitely a full-time gig trying to make sure that these kids are understanding and managing this aspect of it. So we're trying to put people in front of them that they need to hear from, that they can grow. And like I said, all these subscribers and people, we thank you for what you do for the On to Victory. Like I said, we try to be the best stewards of the money that we can possibly be at our collective. We try to make sure that the kids are doing what they're supposed to do, but we also try to make sure that they're responsible. And when they leave Auburn, that they're better than what they came before they came to Auburn.
Yeah. Well, we've got guys like Zach too. We talked about other deals. I know Zach deals with guys and they come on weekly or bi-weekly on his show. And so that's the great part about this is you talked about we're not the only form of income for these kids. We're definitely trying to help push this out as much as we can and get them as many deals as they can, while understanding that there's a balance there, right? They're still full-time students. They're still full-time athletes. And so they've got to make sure that their bandwidth can be stretched that far, and be able to fulfill all the commitments that they're agreeing to while keeping good grades, working hard, and doing all that. So,
yeah. And on the other side of it, I mean, it seems like it's pretty good experience, and I think they enjoy doing it. And, I like you said, I've had a few deals. Chandler Wooten came on my show every week. His final year here. John Samuel Shanker was my football player last year that came on. Zep Jaspers come on every week for the last his 2 years while he was at Auburn. And then Jason Jones, we just kind of signed him. Locked on Auburn just signed him for the remainder of the season. So, it's been cool to work with these guys and kind of, they take it really seriously, which is pretty cool. And when you enter with a deal with somebody and somebody kind of wants to use you for whatever service it may be in life, whenever they're done playing, I think it's good experience for them.
Well, that's what we've told them too. We try to educate them that, like, okay, you're going on Locked On Auburn. You need to be excited. You need to be presentable. Brush your hair. Get the eye boogers out of your eyes. This is a job interview, right?
Yeah,
People
are
looking at this, and they want you. You want them to look at you and say, "Man, I want to invest in that kid. He's got something." And, if they show up and they look like they can't be bothered, then the deals aren't going to come. And so we try to educate them on that as well, for sure.
Well, yeah, Auburn people, you heard all about the collective and how it operates, and all the things that go on behind it. Is so much more than just a kid getting money, and so much more than just someone just giving money. Everyone wants to know. It's kind of like any investment. You want to know where it's going and how it operates. And like I said, we're here to let you know how everything flows. Like I say, you just heard from Ali earlier. Our great women's tennis player. Who's such an exceptional person. And, you see the excitement that came to her eyes, about the opportunities that NIL has presented for her, to get her as a graduate transfer from Clemson to come here. Now they're in the regionals for women's tennis. Like, in order to be in the fight, we got to be able to compete. And, like NIL is not going anywhere. And that's the thing. Maybe there may be some parameters that may come on this, sooner than later. But, NIL is here for a long time. And so we have to find a way to continue to stay involved, find a way to continue to be elite in the SEC, to compete for championships, and not just football, but in all our sports and everything. And we understand how it all flows. So, like I said, we can't stand on the sideline and complain if we're not getting involved.
No.
So that's the thing.
That's it. Love it or hate it. You got to understand that other school across the state is doing it as well. And so if we want to keep up and surpass them, we got to keep moving forward. So we appreciate all the donations and everybody getting involved and working with these kids. And I'm telling you, like, we can't do enough good pieces to just give the background of what some of these kids are going through and what this money means to them. But being in the background and kind of hearing great stories, you guys are doing awesome work for these kids, and I know that they appreciate it in more ways than they can express.
Yeah, so appreciate you, JJ, coming on. And everyone got a chance to see who JJ is. JJ, you deal with lacrosse. Tell everybody a little bit about your lacrosse real quick.
Well,
what do you do with lacrosse?
So I played lacrosse here from 2005 to 2009, and it was kind of just a decision for me I'd grown up an Auburn fan, and I got recruited by some Division II, Division III schools, but they were really smaller than my high school. And so when I found out that Auburn had a club team, I was excited to join that. And then after I graduated and moved back to Atlanta and coached at Georgia Tech for a couple of years as an assistant, we got the offer to be the head coach down here at Auburn. And so my wife graciously agreed to join me. And so we've been doing that for 6 years. We just finished our 6th season here. And so it's again, been fulfilling. I love coaching. I love working with student athletes. And then to be able to do it at my alma mater is just, it's storybook stuff. So I've really enjoyed it. And it's kind of just come full circle for me.
Like they always say, you love Auburn will love you back. So, that's just a great story of another example right there. So Auburn people, stay tuned for our next guest. You won't want to miss this guy coming out of spring football, 6'3", 6'4" receiver. It was a freshman last season, had a couple of catches, but looking for a dynamic season this year under Coach Free's offense and Coach Montgomery. So, you may not want to miss. Stay tuned and find out who it is. I'll give you a little hint. He used to wear 17, but he just switched his number.
War Eagle, this is John Cohen, and I fully endorse On to Victory and its mission to support our student athletes. Let's all do our part and join On to Victory today. War Eagle.
All right, Zach, we just heard from JJ, the myth behind the scene, the man.
What a great dude.
Yeah, JJ is awesome, man. Like I said, we have some great people, man, that's involved with this On to Victory collective. Like I said, it started out with seven big time people here at Auburn, graduates all from Auburn. And, they got the collective together and, they all put money up to support these kids, and neither one of them reached benefits off of it. This is to get our collective going, to make us competitive and everything. So, it's been a great experience, and it's continuing to grow day by day. and even get better and have a better understanding, of what's taking place. So, excuse me. But yeah, so, it's thing we got to adapt to.
That's right. That's right. And so now that spring is behind us, Jason, I kind of want to know your thoughts, if you don't mind, for a second. What stood out to you as far as you've been able to watch practices? Hugh Freeze's first spring on the Plains. What stood out to you about, I guess the last few months?
Yeah, I tell you what stood out, man. I got strangled there for a second. I'm not sure.
Sounds like that golf course wore you out yesterday, huh?
Yeah, that golf course, that piling and everything. I was like, geez, walking 18 holes. I was like, wow. But man, I tell you, it was brutal. I haven't walked 18 holes and I don't know when. And we was playing at East Lake. So, everyone knows that's the final PGA Tour of the year.
Yeah.
That they have in Atlanta. So
it's beautiful. I've been out there a few times. It's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm sore this morning. I'm just like, man, how do you walk this 4 days in a row and play?
Those guys are in such good shape. People don't realize it.
Gosh, man. I was just like, jeez. But yeah, going back to spring football, I tell you what, I couldn't be more proud of this offensive line that we have. We haven't seen an offensive line like this probably since 2017, the year that Auburn went to the SEC championship. When you think about the guys who they brought in the portal, Dylan Wade, who was with Coach Montgomery at Tulsa, Gunnar Britton, Western Kentucky, they threw the ball a lot, so he's used to pass protection. You also get Too Tall Miller, one of the top JUCO recruits in the nation at offensive tackle. You look inside and you still got Tate Johnson, who got some experience here last year, that's now getting even more experience at like the right guard situation. You have Connor Liu, the high school kid out of Kennesaw, who stepped in, and they say his IQ is so high, and he's able to adapt and pick up on things that most times you have to redshirt freshman lineman, but this guy's not going to be redshirted. He's stepping up. And then you have Avery Jones, the center from ECU, that's was committed to go to Illinois, and he ended up coming to Auburn. Like, he has been a great upgrade at that center position because he's almost like the centerpiece, other than the quarterback, of making sure everyone's on the same page when it comes to the offensive line. Make sure guys are getting off the ball and getting to their blocks and make sure they're pointing to they point to. So I was very impressed with what I seen in the spring game because we couldn't throw the ball because of the rain. But you always want to see if your offensive line can get pushed. And I thought the offensive line did a really good job of getting pushed up front. There wasn't a lot of false starts. It wasn't balls on the ground, and that was in terrible conditions. So I'm excited to see what this offensive line could do. That was my most impressive part about spring.
Yeah, something that stood out to me about the offensive line, I want your thoughts on this, Jason, is it seems like every spring for the last decade at Auburn, we've seen a lot of like mixing and matching across the offensive line where, one day, somebody will be at tackle, and the next day they'll be at guard, and, you just try all these different things. Well, with the 3 transfers that were brought in with Wade, Jones, and Britton, those 2 guys were at tackle and Jones were at center, and like they didn't move. You saw some pieces change at the guard spots with Jeremiah Wright, and you mentioned Tate Johnson and Connor Liu, and Cam Stutz even. You saw those guys rotating out, but like the tackles in the center, they didn't change at all. They were very consistent. So very little mixing and matching this spring. I personally love that. What are your thoughts?
Oh, most definitely. That builds consistency. Like I said, I forgot all about Cam Stutz, a guy that's been here at Auburn and has gotten some experience, and now he's stepping up in that situation where he's at right now. And I think that's valuable. But it's like you said, you talk about the guys that they brought in, that they didn't play around and just say, hey, let's put him at guard, let's put him over here and see how he does. Like, no, you got to let a kid know exactly where he's supposed to be playing. And so he can start to study himself and start to study his playbook and understand what it is that he needs to do that. But a lot of that happened to that because there was never depth at that position.
Sure.
We was always just one guy away from being a bad O-line because we couldn't plug and play. And I think with this group, what you do is now you have a starting 5 that are solid, but then you also have another 4 guys behind them that you can plug and play. Like Too Tall Miller can come in and start at tackle if one of our guys got knock on wood, got hurt or something, or he can come in and start at guard. Dylan can play left tackle and right tackle. Gunnar can play right tackle and left tackle. So they can plug and play when need to be. but they don't have to because we have depth now. And I
Yeah.
think that's the key about when you're building the offensive line is having that depth because it is a long football season and everything. So I definitely feel like this team is built now, what they're trying to understand from the inside out, which is how football should always be. It doesn't matter who you put at quarterback, it doesn't matter who you put at receiver. If the ball can't get there, they can't get protected, it's not going to matter until you get the inside taken care of. And that's where they started at with this football team.
Yeah. And then Jason, on the other side of the ball, like the defensive line looked pretty similar, right? I mean, you pretty much saw the same guys and then maybe some more guys rotating in. The defensive backfield looks pretty similar. Linebacker, Jason, bunch of rotation happening at linebacker. Those two guys that are consistently be on the field because nickel is the new base.
Yeah.
Who's kind of standing out to you at the linebacker spot after spring?
I tell you, getting Austin Keys over from Ole Miss was a big get.
Yeah.
You know, he's a thumper. You know, he's a guy that he loves to hit. He doesn't shy away from contact. I think he's a guy that can run sideline to sideline and playing that Mike linebacker position. You need that. I think especially losing guys that we lost, Owen, who's an experienced guy at that position, you know, and everything. So you need an experienced guy, and he comes over from Ole Miss with valuable experience. Wesley Steiner has really stepped up this spring.
Yeah.
Wesley really took it to another level of understanding what to do at that linebacker position, and you know he's hungry. You know, when you get kids that are hungry, you know you have an opportunity they absorb everything you're telling them because they're like a sponge. You know, they want to know, how do I do this, how do I do that, because they want to be on the field. And I think he's done that. Cam Riley is a guy that kind of reminds me of Dansby from a size standpoint. You know, he just got to continue to keep bucking up a little bit, you know, because he's going to have to, in that 34 defense, sometimes you got to go against those left tackles, those right tackles, and sometimes you're involved in the pass rush. Sometimes you have to drop back off in coverage, which is what Dansby was really good at, and was getting back off in coverage and trying to throw over a 6'4" guy off in the flat. You know, it's not as easy. And I think the more that he understands drop zones, the more he understands how to have a rush move like Derek Hall had. You know, you have your move that you go to create pressure on the quarterback. I think he's another one. I also, you know, outside of those three guys, I'm thinking Keldrick Falk. You know, Keldrick Falk, our big time signee this year. You know, Keldrick is a guy that you can line him up at the end position. You can line him up in that jack linebacker position in 34 defense as well. And he's the guy that's going to gain valuable experience, but he has the size of an SEC player already. Some of these guys come in built like SEC players. I haven't seen that in the last 3 years, and he's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, the three freshmen in particular, you already mentioned Connor Liu, then Keldrick Falk and Kane Lee. It's like, you're going to tell me all these guys are true freshmen. That's like, I'll be like, no way. There's no way.
Right. And they're all true freshmen. Like you said, like
all of them. Yep.
They was able to enroll in January. That's the good thing about if a kid can graduate in December. You know, yeah, you hate they missed their prom, but man, who knows? They may still go back and go to their prom. I would. You know, I would go back and go to my prom, but
sure.
You know, but they get a chance to get here early because these are guys that you expect to play early. And they need that valuable experience in the springtime. It's very rare that a true freshman can come out of high school, graduates in May, enroll in June, and ready to go as soon as September gets here. That's tough. You know, but if you got them all through spring and January, it's more likely that kid's going to be well prepared and ready to play. And he's not going to play much like a freshman because he's had a chance to make freshman mistakes a lot through spring ball.
Yeah, no question about it. And I mean, there's still going to be some talented guys coming in, though. I mean, Jeremiah Cobb is certainly a guy that a lot of people are excited about. And I assume he'll enroll sometime in the coming weeks to be here in time for summer workouts and all of that. But, you know, your expectations for, I guess, Jeremiah Cobb being kind of a guy that's getting here a little bit later, and then the rest of the running back room.
Yeah, Jeremiah Cobb out of Montgomery. You know, highly touted running back. You know, great kid. Going to come in, hard worker. Like I said, Lack loves him. I think he's going to fit our locker room and fit the running back room. That's the one thing about that running back room. They hold each other accountable. You know, you get Brian Batty in the transfer portal from South Florida. You know, a guy that's a speedster that, you know, one thing about him, he can use him at kick return him, punt return him. Then he's your running back that comes in and spring out a screen play or out in the flat. You get him the ball in open space. He just makes guys miss. And then,
do you have a comp for him? For Brian Batty, would you compare him to anybody?
I guess if I have to think, you know, back in my
Put you on the spot.
back in my NFL days, I would probably go with, You know what? I know a guy. He played at Auburn. You know, everyone remember Caleb. Caleb, you know, he's not as tall as
Ontario.
Caleb. Yeah, Ontario, but he's quick like Ontario. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's in and out of the hole. But I was going to say Darren Sproles because of his height. You know, Darren Sproles was a guy that was really quick. He was a low gravity guy. And once he gets in the hole, the reason this guy could have a special year, Zach, is because once Brian gets through the hole, as a linebacker, you can't see him initially because the offensive line is big and he's a smaller back.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden he's on you and it's too late because he's that fast. And I think that's what makes him special. And it's going to be a great punch between Jarquez, Damari Alston, who's another really good player out of Woodward, you know, that was here last year and now going to be playing a bigger role. And then you miss Brian in there. It's going to take a little pressure off Jeremiah where you don't have to play him as soon. But Jeremiah's a thumper, though, man. Like, this running back room is deep right now. And I think it's bringing a lot of excitement.
It's crazy how deep it is. And your best running back from a year ago got drafted this past weekend. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's the day. We're getting back to stacking that room with running backs. You know, for years, it was that way. You know, you go from Cadillac and Ronnie to, you know, Kenny Irons and you know, you got some other guys.
Do you ever look back and realize, like, oh man, I was really spoiled to be able to hand it off to those guys?
I say this, to be able to hand it off to them and everything. Like Ronnie always say, he's like, man, we didn't understand how good we had it, you know, but you being a consistent passer.
Sure.
He said because when he got in the NFL, he like, if you didn't have a consistent passer, man, people just stocked the box and it wasn't much you can do. And he was just like, you know, just looking at it now, how we played those LSU teams when they blitz and different things. We was able to hit Courtney Taylor and some of those other guys. He like, it makes defenses not put 8 people in the box because they now have to respect our receivers. They have to respect my arm talent and everything. So I think that's what helped Jarquez. And because Jarquez, they're going to be really good this year running the football. Now the question is, from a quarterback perspective, can we be good enough and consistent enough in the passing game to get that 8th man out of the box? You know, to make them respect our passing game.
Yeah, and can that Hugh Freeze, Philip Montgomery offense, how much can that help with that? Right? I mean, that's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be definitely huge because, you know, Coach Montgomery loves big receivers. You know, Hugh Freeze loves big receivers. And his offense, you've seen guys do really well, especially when Coach Freeze was at Ole Miss. You know, they was one of the most consistent offenses in college football. And when you think about the aspect of adding that passing game with our running game, like the offense can be very, very dynamic. So it's just a matter of, like I said, getting consistent play at the quarterback position, getting that figured out. I think you get that figured out, who knows? The sky's the limit for this team. You really just take it on a weekly basis because I don't see anyone on the schedule. Yes, Georgia and Bama, they come to Auburn though. You know, yes, you go to LSU, you go to Texas A&M, you go to Arkansas.
Sure. But
no team really just scares you a whole lot because a lot of these teams lost a lot of guys. Now, if we can just get consistency in the key position, like you give yourself a chance in every game.
Which is great, which is exactly what you want. And so there's just so many different areas of this team where you can be like, yes, that's a strength. And I think, interestingly enough, offensive line and running backs there. We'll see what happens when quarterback falls where it needs to. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we talked about the D-line and linebackers, and the defensive backfield certainly looks good. DJ James continues to be I've said he's the best returning corner in the SEC. That's gotten some pushback publicly, but I think DJ James is going to be absolutely incredible this season, Jason.
Yeah, DJ has a knack for the ball. You know, he's a guy that's returning. You know, he wanted to buck up a little bit more, get a little bit more understanding. And I think, you know, with his knowledge of the game and having that valuable experience, I think it's going to help him out a lot. And the guy that we're going to bring on here soon is going to be able to tell us, you know, which some of the DBs in practice that will look, you know, has looked well and who has challenged him a little bit. You know, he's going to be one of our up and coming star receivers and everything. So he'll be able to tell us a little bit more about what goes on that practice field from a competition level. But I'm excited to see what this DB group does as a unit. You know, Nehemiah Pritchett, the senior that came back as well, you know, on the opposite side of DJ. And then you add in Kai Henley, you add in JD Rims, another touted DB that couldn't participate in the spring because of injury. I think we're really well at the corner position. I think from a safety standpoint, you know, we can still use a little bit more help there, but they moved Jalen Simpson to safety. You know, you also have Zion Puckett and everything. So you have those guys back there as well. So, you know, we'll see what happens going into the fall, but there's a lot of depth, though, Zach. There's a lot of depth on this football team, but let's not wait any longer, though. I want to hear from this guy here. I want to bring this guy in. He talks so much. No, I just joke. He's one of our guys that he's a silent assassin, man. He just goes about his business, and he switched from 17, which kind of hurt me a little bit. You know, he switched from 17. He want to go to number 4. He wants a single-digit number, so I guess he thinks it makes him look slimmer. So I'm about to find out why. So people, everyone we've been talking about, Camden Brown, we're about to bring to the show, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
Camden, what's going on with you?
Hey, Camden.
Great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I got my man Zac Blackerby on here, and you know, Zac does Locked On blogging at Auburn, and so I'm pretty sure you've probably been on this show, or you will be at some point. But hey, man, thanks for coming on, taking the time out this morning. How's everything going?
Everything blessed. I'm back home in Florida, getting work in. Just got done working out. Really trying to get back healthy. So
yeah, So
I'm ready for it.
Why did you switch from 17 to number 4? Let's talk about that. Let's go ahead and get that out.
I had to go back to my high school days. My high school days, I had number 4, and like, I mean, I just lived up upon it. But I love 17 because it was different. I probably, if I was at quarterback, I probably would have had 17 like Jason Campbell.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate repping it for 1 year, though. You know, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Camden, is it true that when you switch from a double-digit number to a single-digit number that you actually get faster? Is that true?
No, I really say, I don't know, but I ain't gonna lie, it's spring time. I look kind of fast.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm like, who is that out there? I'm like, oh, yeah, Camden changed his number. That's right. I
look faster than usual.
Hey,
did you ever ask Tank for number 4? Did it ever cross your mind to ask Tank for it?
I actually asked him. I was like, man, I ain't gonna lie. After the season, we all know you going to the NFL, you're gonna do big, but I need that 4. Yeah.
So what you saying 17 was on bystander until number 4 got available.
I was just trying to make 17 a legacy.
Hey, I hear you though. Number 4 is a big one too. My boy Junior Rose Green, he from the Florida area. Junior Rose Green, you know, Junior was a thumper on defense. Now
that boy, a legend of boom right now.
yeah. So you know, but hey, talk about this though. You know, spring. You know, Coach Free's offense. I know as a big receiver, you got to enjoy it. I know last year in the old offense,
right?
Sometimes things can feel a little slow. You know, because you're in this college game now where you're trying to get off so many plays, but Coach Freeze does it where there's a tempo, but it's not super fast, but it's a good tempo, but it keeps you involved in the game. I think that really fits what you do, and I think that's why you was able to look faster in the spring, because this system fits more of your style. Right. Talk about the fit of this offense for you guys and the receivers.
Like I said, this fit is basically going to help us change, like this whole system is going to help us change the narrative around everything. So the way how everything is fast, everything is tempo, I feel like everybody in the receiver room actually fits in with this fast tempo, everybody going fast. Because it was times last year where in Georgia we was going really, really, really fast, and we was making very, very much processing. And we was doing very, very good. But when we slowed down, like we got time to hit them. We got time to see them boys take a breather in, and it was just it. But I say this offense helps all the receivers as of right now, and I ain't gonna lie, we coming. We all coming together for sure.
Yeah. Camden, has the mentality for you been different? I mean, you were kind of the new guy last year, right? And now you're kind of expected to be the number 1 option in this offense. How does that kind of change how you approach things?
The mentality has never changed because that's just me. Like I'm gonna put my head down and work. I never really buy into the no more receiver thing. I play my role and to just grow as a person, player, and really just don't really buy into all the hype. So I just put my best foot forward and just go to work every day.
Yeah, because I watched a little bit of y'all in the springtime and everything. I know in the spring game we can get a chance to air it out like Coach wanted to. You know, the weather is really bad, but you know, just talk about how do you build chemistry with quarterbacks when there's like a rotation going on? Like, what do you guys do from a receiver room to prepare yourself? Is it extra reps before practice with a guy that you don't have many reps with? Is it extra reps after practice? Like, what do you guys do to make sure that you're building chemistry with whomever the starter is?
Just a chemistry comes along with conversations. So I say just talking to them, communicating with them. Because if a quarterback cannot take communication, it's going to be like the chemistry going to be off. You know what I mean? So I say communication is the biggest part. Like just during practice, you see something going on out there, but the quarterback wouldn't see it because the quarterback is only one person. So you got to communicate that to the quarterback to tell him what's going on. And if he not listening, the chemistry probably fall off. You know what I mean? So the chemistry is basically based off the communication part of it, and trust. Trust come a long way with anything. Like trusting you guys to keep everything the way how it is. Trusting the collective here on the victory. Just trusting anything for real. So trust come a long way with chemistry as well.
Camden, we talked about how both Coach Freeze and Coach Montgomery like bigger pass catchers. And so they've got you out there. They bring in Rivaldo Fairweather. They bring in Nick Martiner. All of you guys are really, really large human beings. So what has that been like kind of working with them and kind of developing the offense?
It's been good because, as you said before, me being the number one receiver, everybody gonna look at that, but they don't know what's really coming. Like Rivaldo, me and Rivaldo work every day. We be on the judge every day. We about to go work out in a little bit, in Florida because we both from Florida, same area. So we about to go work out, and that's all we do is work. Nick is a good dude. Nick gonna go up and get it. So I'm ready to see how he gonna grow into everything, and it's been not a lot of pressure on me because of those receivers. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't have to double team me. They wouldn't have to game plan for me when you got other threats like Rivaldo, Coy, Barr, and keep naming Nick, keep naming them. So it's not really about the big receivers there at this point because it's all type of threats on the field right now. So
yeah, I always joke about you guys having a basketball team and who would be the best player because you got Luke Deal who's 6'6", you got Fairweather who's 6'6", you got yourself who's 6'3.5", 6'4", you got Nick who's 6'6", and then you got Javarius, who's your little point guard, your little Kyrie Irving, you got those guys. I'm just trying to figure out, man, who would be the best basketball player out of all you giants out there, man?
Out of all of us, I say the best basketball player would probably be it would be Rivaldo, because that boy be dunking that thing, and then it would probably be TJ got a scrap. That boy be shooting that thing. But me,
Jalen Simpson can play too, can he?
Yeah, Jalen he be going crazy too whenever we go play basketball. So it'd be a good little session for real.
So y'all go to the student act every now and then and play. Yeah. And
that comes with chemistry as well.
All right. Yeah, doing stuff away from the field, man, was important. I know back when we was playing, we used to go out and eat wings together. We used to go out and, like I said, we used to go to the student act sometimes to do things together, play a little pickup game. But we always told the guy, like, hey, man, I know y'all playing against the football players and y'all want to act like y'all heroes, but don't try to take nobody out here. Let's just be smart. We're just out here having fun. So that aspect of it. But talk about, I'm excited, man, to see you guys in the red zone this year because you look to the right, you got Camden. Or look to the left, you got Camden. You look to the right, you got Nick. And then, like I said, you got Coy and those other guys. But then you got Fairweather in the middle that can neutralize the safety and the linebacker. So you can't just double team the outside because now you got this big tight end in the middle that you got to be concerned about. How excited are you guys about the red zone jump ball opportunities? Because I call them, they got to come because everybody does it. And even in the NFL, there's no secret. You know, it's all about you look across as a matchup. Hey, let's throw the ball up and give our guy a shot because you're going to have those one-on-one opportunities. How excited are y'all about that?
Yeah, I'm excited. Like last year, you probably saw like probably 1 to 2 fade balls. And I got a fade ball, which was a blessing. I showed what I can do. But that's gonna be good and very excitement to Jordan Hare when everybody going crazy. Oh, he just balled on him. It's gonna bring a whole lot of excitement. So I'm ready.
Camden, if you moss somebody in the corner of the end zone, just absolutely moss someone at Jordan Hare Stadium and it goes crazy, will you start talking smack then, or will you just kind of walk away and just make them feel super small?
Nah, it really depends on the moment. Like last year against Arkansas, I was probably about to spike the ball down. So I was like, no, I'm tripping. We ain't gonna get too crazy. But me as a person, like when I'm just talking to you guys, I'm just a laid back person. When I'm on the field, everything changed. Like I get to talking, I get the like this ball is mine. We got a family to feed for real. So like if I bomb somebody in the corner at Jordan Hare, I probably got to spike the ball. I don't know. I'll tell her he too small or something. It's gonna be crazy though. It's gonna be one to remember.
I know. Are y'all gonna do the top thing where y'all say, "Hey, that's another sign for say you too little," or y'all gonna do the
no? We probably
hand
rock
down
the
low?
baby to sleep.
Oh, so you rock the baby to sleep? Okay.
Yeah,
okay. So y'all Russell Westbrook out there now. You rocking the baby to sleep? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hey Zach, we're gonna look forward to that.
No doubt.
Now, if you get a 15-yard penalty, it's not on Zach and me.
No, that's you guys that got to run stadiums the next day. That's not me.
Coach Freeze want us to celebrate. He want us to have fun. And that's what I love about him. Because a regular head coach would probably just be like, "Nah, you can't do that. You being too cocky." But he actually let us bring out ourselves. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that really brings a part of it. Like if you can't be yourself on the football field, it's like, dang, you probably won't never get the team that you want.
Right.
Camden, who's the best smack talker on the team?
Best smack talker? Probably me. I'll probably get to talking smack sometimes, but I'll be laid back a lot though.
I believe it too. I believe he's probably a big smack talker. I'll tell you, every Florida boy I played with, man, with Joe Watkins, the Junior Rose Green, Jairus McIntyre, even Jacoby Ford when I was in Oakland with the Raiders, and Lewis Murphy, who was from Florida when I had him in the Raiders, they always talking. And I'm just like, dude, can I put you on mute for a second?
Just give me 5 minutes, man.
Yeah,
hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to explain something to them. They still talking.
One person you need to really put on mute is Jeremiah, right? Please don't let him get the going. He get the going, boy. You probably won't hear the end of it. I promise you won't hear the end of that one.
Yeah, I saw him skipping all around the spring game, going from sideline to sideline, just talking. I said, I thought he was injured.
Man, that's him. That's all him right there. Like I just said, Coach Freeze loved that. He loved that energy that Jeremiah brings out. And Jeremiah, he going to play a real, real big role to all this.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him get to go in the fall. So, yeah.
Who's the best DB right now in the spring? Let's rephrase the question.
Okay.
Who are the 2 guys in the spring that has stepped up that everyone expects to be there, but who is the one guy that people probably don't know that much about that they need to pay attention to?
Yeah. I say DJ and Nehemiah, but one that really shocked me the most that I didn't expect at all is Kane Lee. Man, that's the future. But I ain't gonna say the future. That's now, right now, from my eyes. He that guy. He gonna be that guy for sure.
That dude's footwork is crazy.
Yeah,
for him to be as young as he is.
Patient he be very, very patient. And like you gotta go now. And I learned that like off the first time I went against him. I said I can't play with him. I gotta go now. And that's just how it was. DJ James came a long, long way. Me and him went out there all spring. He got me the first day. I had to come back with some more heat. I had to come back with some more heat. He got me the first day of spring. I had to come back with some more heat. Nehemiah came a long way. I love everything about Nehemiah. His mindset. I love everything about DJ, KN. Simp coming a long way with him adjusting to the safety part of it. Yeah. And I love him at safety.
Yeah.
But the biggest person I'm ready to really see is I'm ready to see how Terrence Love, the freshman, gonna come in and do some stuff. I love how Caleb Wooden been coming along as well. Yeah. He been growing as a person too. So I'm ready to see how the whole DB room shape.
Yeah, they seem pretty stacked.
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of competition, and that's everywhere. Fall camp is gonna be a lot of competition. I'm in for it. I'm ready to work.
Can you tell us a little bit about Justin Rogers? You know what he's meant coming over from Kentucky, his experience, and one of the leaders on the football team.
Man, that's a dog.
Yeah,
that's a dog. He is staying that arm on you, boy. I know, boy. That's a dog right now. I can't wait. The biggest matchup, I can't wait to see him and Jeremiah go against each other. Yeah, I like Jeremiah.
Yeah,
that's my boy. I like Jeremiah. So that's the biggest competition I'm really ready to see for sure.
What about Keldrick Falk? I mean, that kid does not look like a freshman.
No, that's the 1 5-star that actually live up to the 5-star standards. Yeah. From my aspect, because I was a 3-star and I looked at some people like, is this really a 5-star? But he really lived up to the 5-star standards, and I love him as a person. Me and him we on locker buddies, so we always have a good conversation. He gonna be a good biggest part of this this journey this year. So I'm ready to see how you get it going.
That's what's up, man. Well, talk about Coach Montgomery a little bit. You know, we know about Coach Freeze, but Coach Montgomery is the, tell people a little bit about, his personality and how he is with you guys.
Coach Montgomery real laid back, but once he get the coaching, he get the coaching, and he's a great coach. I learned a few things. From him with everything, like just being more faster to the ball, and I just learned a lot of his the way how he carry himself with the signals and stuff, like, but you gotta listen to the whole signal because it probably be more, and I learned that about him as well, and I love him as a person. We always have good conversations for sure.
Camden, when you look at just this offense in general, like, it's hard not to get excited about Jarquez Hunter and the type of season that he could possibly have this year. What are you expecting from him?
I'm expecting big things from him, but a lot of people don't know Damari Austin. We got hella good running back. Yeah. Y'all focus on one running back. I'm focused on 3 that's coming at you. It's 3 coming at you. Sean, Batty, Damari. No, it's 4. Jarquez. It's 4. The big 4. Them boys all gonna tote that rock this year.
Jeremiah Cobb's coming too.
Oh yeah. I haven't really sat there and watched Jeremiah come, but I have heard a lot of good things about him. And I can't wait to see how he developed too. But the running back room shaped like butter. That's I'm ready to see them boys rock, and I'm ready to see Damari go crazy, Jarquez go crazy. I want to see him jump over first again.
You know what they gonna say though, right?
What are they gonna say?
They gonna say, "Is my receiver Camden Brown a pancake blocker?"
Cool.
down the field.
I play my role.
When you see that safety coming over there, and you in that run game, you gonna give him that smash block the screen Jarquez for another 40.
Oh yeah, well, I play my role. You got this is the biggest part of playing football. Play your role, do your job. I'm a block for my brother now.
Oh yeah.
So when you get a big block, how does that alter your strategy regarding the smack talk?
Nah, I ain't gonna smack talk.
So you only talk trash when you catch stuff, not when you lay down the law. Okay, got it.
Because I done got hit a couple times, but Tank ran off the back last year. Like, yeah, so it was good. Like Tank ran down, they put me at like the little tight end thing. I set the wall. Man, that dude was big, man. That dude was big. But he was nah. But after I knew that, I was like, man. After I looked up. Because I got put on the ground, I looked up. I said, yes.
Yeah.
I thought he ran into me, but no, my biggest blocks was this year, and I never really blocked as much though.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed.
That's about to change now though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about to change. And
that's
talking
how
about,
I actually sat there and watched me learn how to play my role, and that came the biggest part this year for real.
Yeah. And before we let you get out of here, because I got a couple rapid fire questions, I got to ask you an NIL question. But before that, though, everyone wants to know. You know, I know you got Robbie and you got Holden out there. You know, everyone's still trying to figure out what's going to happen with TJ and everything. But we've seen TJ play. We've seen Robbie play. A lot of people haven't seen Holden play. Can you tell us a little bit about what you see in Holden Gerner?
Holden is a good kid. He liked to golf a lot. But he a good dude, great person, real great person to talk to. Work ethic up there, just with me, just like me. That's why I can relate to him a lot. He loved the work. He probably be in the facility back in Auburn right now, just working. But I love his work ethic. I love the way how he process things. But I can't wait to see him grow. And this spring, he took a big role of there and just growing and taking a lot of coaching. So I can't wait to see how it all scribes out.
Cool. Zach, you got anything off of that?
No, I'm excited to hear him talk about NIL. And then if you ask him the same questions we heard earlier, I'm looking forward to some of the food questions.
All right. So Camden, everyone knows NIL has changed the format in college sports and everything. Can you just let the subscribers and all the Auburn people know, like, you know, what NIL has meant for you and what it's meant for like your teammates and, you know, all the hard work to go into you guys, you know, earning your name, image, and likeness?
I say NIL is all about your value and how you bring an asset to the team. And also I just love how NIL has brought for me and my family as a whole. It brings my family like more opportunities, like going on vacations like this summer, like helping them out sometimes, because sometimes I be wanting to, like Mother's Day coming up, I want to get some for my mother because she deserves a lot. Just doing a lot of stuff for my family, and like if anybody ever like need anything, I like come in clutch for them, because I feel like if I needed something, they'll do it for me with like no question about it. So I'm really family guy. And that really like got on NIL really brought upon me a lot.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like I said, you guys have to juggle, you know, school work and practice and everything. You got to work on your craft so that you can be a great teammate and a great player when you play. So a lot goes into it. But we asked one of the women tennis players earlier on the show a couple of rapid fire questions. So I'm gonna ask you rapid fire that you can give me short answers and have fun with it, and then we'll let you on out of here and get back to that field and do what you do best. So all right, man. So the night before a big competition game, what's your go-to food?
My go-to food, an orange.
Orange.
Yeah.
That's all you eat's an orange?
Yeah, a go-to snack like to the room.
Like the night before a big competition, like what do you want to eat? Like, is it wings? Is it pasta? Is it a steak?
Oh,
Is
pasta,
it,
pasta.
pasta. Okay, I finna say
Pasta.
orange, man. You run on a few fumes.
Goodness, you're gonna run out of gas at halftime, man.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the one receiver you looked up like growing up that you kind of want to be like, or you like their game and you want to tailor your game after?
Chad Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any
Ocho
reason why?
Cinco.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your favorite place to eat at in Auburn?
Penny George. I eat there every day. Like it's something new every day. It seems like my grandma cooking for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Give me one word that describes you.
Humble.
Okay. We got one more for you then. What is your favorite Auburn tradition?
Tiger walk.
Tiger walk.
Yeah. Tiger walk, yeah. Yeah. I like
All right.
Tiger.
Well, I lied. I got one more, and that's it.
All right.
What do you look forward to this season?
Daddy.
Huh?
Natty. Like
Natty.
Hey, let's go.
There you go. Confidence. That's what I'm talking about. All right, then, Cam, we appreciate you coming on the show, bro. We really do. Like I said, NIL, like I said, has done a lot, but you guys also, man, y'all work your butts off and doing everything you can to get this program back to new heights. I know you're excited about the new coaching staff. I know you're excited about the new opportunities. Your coach, Marcus Davis, who played at Auburn himself, can relate to you guys and kind of tell you guys what to expect and how to do things. So I just think the stars, man, are shining. I just think it's a great opportunity and it's a great time to be an Auburn Tiger, man. I really think that you're in a prime position for your career to take off under Coach Freeze and Coach Montgomery's offense. That the draft just happened, and a year from now, 2 years from now, hopefully we'll see your name in the draft being called because we think you're just that dynamic of a player. So continue to keep working, man. Continue to be a leader in that locker room. Continue to get those guys around you to work extremely hard, and we appreciate you coming on the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed one.
All right, War Eagle, brother.
All right, War Eagle.
War Eagle, everyone. College athletics is changing, and the Auburn family will respond. On to Victory is the NIL collective of the Auburn Tigers, and they're leading the way. I encourage everyone to go to ontovictory.com. Hey, Auburn family, let's continue to make a tremendous difference in the lives of these student athletes. War Eagle. War Eagle.